Hello, this is Alonzo Hall of ADH Wealth Solutions, and today I return with another episode of 10 Cash Commandments. Today, I want to talk to you about investors and the different type of investors that there are. So initially what an investor is somebody who's purchasing a new issue or a stock with the intent to hold the security for a period of time. So usually they're divided into a couple of different groups. There's an institutional investor, a retail investor, and an accredited investor. So an institutional investor is an entity that pools money together to purchase securities and other investment assets. Institutional investors can include banks, insurance companies, pensions, hedge funds, investment advisors, and mutual funds. Some institutional investors are called qualified institutional buyers, or QIBs. And this generally means that the QIB owns and invests a minimum of 100 million in securities on a discretionary basis. So the next thing you have is a retail investor, which is your typical retail investor. They're investing their own money, and they don't qualify as an institution, so they're treated as a retail investor. Now, although these investors might be very large, most are smaller investors, and they tend to be less knowledgeable than institutional investors. Sales to retail investors have higher communication and disclosure expectations. So the next is an accredited investor. And accredited investors are a subset of investors that make up of all institutional investors and certain retail investors. So retail investors who are also accredited investors are usually insiders of the securities issuer. Like I said, board members or major stockholders, and they usually meet very specific financial criteria, which is an income of at least $200,000 or more over the past 2 years, and expected to make that $200,000 or more the following year. Now, if the purchase is in a joint name, the numbers increase. Like if it's a husband and wife, they increase to $300,000, and that's annual income. Or you have to have a net worth of $1 million or more, and that's not including equity in your house. So you can't use your house to be an accredited investor. Now, I want you to also realize that the accredited investor has to meet at least one of those criteria, but you don't have to meet both. So the assumption is that the accredited investor has a higher level of sophistication in their investing than the average retail investor, and so they don't need the same levels of protection. That's going to be our tidbit for today. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You can take a look for my social media. You can always contact me on my 24-hour hotline, 212-470-9932. Or my email, alonzohall374@gmail.com. And as always, with that being said, Black Lives Matter, one love, I'm out.